Blox Fruits Update 27 won't change a thing. Here's why. Before we do start, just know that this is just my opinion from what I'm seeing. If you're easily triggered, just get out because it's not like trigger warning, but like if you don't agree with me, you're just gonna argue with my opinion, just don't bother. Just click out of the video. Anyways, Blox's new update is coming out, and it includes Rumble rework, a summer event, a fishing system, a new island, and weekly updates for at least 6 weeks. Now, first of all, I'd like to talk about how a summer event makes no sense since summer is already over, and we're all already starting school, so that kind of doesn't make any sense. An a fishing system seems very odd, since the game is called a bandit beater, and having something like that already just adds on to its, title. But maybe I'm wrong. It also feels like they're trying to avoid listening to player suggestions, but I could be wrong with that. I don't know. Rumble getting a rework also makes no sense. It doesn't even need a rework since it's already perfect as it was. But I guess they decided to rework it for some reason, probably for money uses. Anyways, I feel like there are other fruits that could have been reworked, like Venom or Leopard, because they're pretty out of meta, considering how other fruits and other stores are doing better than them. Well, before we continue any further, I'd like to point out something that I've seen a lot before. Many players, like new gen players, are annoyed when a veteran player or someone who played during the golden era complains about the update, even though they're asking for a new update. And it's like they're kind of basically saying like, "Oh, you're complaining. Oh, you're so ungrateful. Why did you ask for an update if you don't want it?" Blah 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 blah. Yeah, stuff like that. But there's more a deeper meaning to it than they think. And the main reason is that they're not complaining about the update. It's more of like the changes they add to the update and how the changes affect the game completely. The main changes are PvP and game progression. PvP has been very unstable for a while, and it's really hard to play the game without seeing two specific fruits. These two I'm talking about are Kitsune and Portal. I kid you not, every server I join, there's at least one Kitsune or one Portal user in my server. So, I mean, it's interesting because Kitsune doesn't even do the most damage, but it has the fastest DPS, as you can hit three moves in 1 second. Which with Magma, it does the most, but it takes a while before you do the damage. So people using Kitsune is more logical because you're killing them faster than Magma could, and plus it's easier to hit. So many people usually just use it and spam that. Now with Portal is a really insane support, mainly because you can easily surprise attack somebody and do a one-shot combo completely. And from what I saw, there's actually a bug where you can go invisible, which I don't know why they didn't fix this or why it's happening, but I hope they do fix it quickly. Anyways, I don't really blame them, but I mean I kind of do. I wish they would take the initiative to actually nerf Portal and Kitsune, but they most likely won't do it in terms of income. Because if they decide to nerf the two most main fruits that everyone is using a lot more, they would probably lose a lot more money. Since Kitsune costs $50, what is it? Portal costs $25. They'll be getting bank from those two fruits, and it being the most broken fruits for PvP right now, they would never try to nerf something that broken. But if they end up doing, here's what I think they should do to nerf them. For Kitsune, I just think they need to decrease the speed of the projectiles, or just have the moves have a longer wind up before they activate. Because I feel like this would make it so that people aren't just spamming it so consistently. It gives them the idea that they need to be careful with it. Take the think and use it at the right time instead of just spamming moves and getting quick kills. For Proto, it's a little more complicated. I feel like they should increase the Z move and attack animation to make it a little longer, or make it faster so that the player either doesn't have as much time to prepare, or the player actually has time to escape. So the X move is a bit complicated. I feel how to nerf it correctly is just to make it so that they have to deactivate it unless they press X again. They can't just use any move and deactivate the dimension. They have to press X again. That way, it's not people can just sneak up attack you, because that's That's how people are able to get kills currently or actually attack people. It's actually surprising because if you actually fight a portal user without X, they do worse than they did if they could use X. And if you try to have them use a different fruit, they still do worse because the surprise element they have is gone. They can't do anything. I've battled a lot of people who had that and they did horrible when they didn't have portal. There's so many good fruits in PvP, but like Kismet and Portal are being so dominant in PvP that all these other fruits are really irrelevant. For example, like fruits like Spirit could actually do good with an Awakening, or maybe even Blizzard. I could imagine something like that. That would be really cool. Or maybe fruits like Flame, Dark, and Light are really good. Maybe deserve a better rework than its current one, but I could be wrong. It's they're pretty good fruits to even fight and bounty hunt with, but with this new PvP meta, it's just impossible to use fruits like that. Another thing I have to mention is shaky screens. Like anytime you're attacking, your screen shakes so much. I wish there was a button to disable it, but there isn't because the developers won't actually remove it. And from what I've known, the reason why they don't won't add this is because they don't want people to macro farm. I find that very weird because honestly, leveling up in this game is almost impossible. And they're worried about people macro farming rather than worrying about how the people are actually going to even level up at all. The thing about game progression is like it takes an insane amount of time. Even using hacks, it can take a lot of time too. And they ban you if you're using hacks, so you know, trying to grind without hacks is already hard. So, and let's not also forget the fact that you also need to get other things like Ken V2, which takes a lot of time because you have to, keep dodging attacks, grind it up until you get the max amount. With Crystal Katana, you need to get two swords. It involves in a really long quest, which takes a long time. And True Triple Katana, which can take up almost like a couple of days because each sword takes 6 hours. And you may not even get the sword you want because you can get repeats, so it takes even longer. Plus, grinding with Leviathan is also annoying because it's really RNG based. All this really causes the game progression to be really tedious and annoying, also resulting in people quitting on the third day of grinding, mainly because of how hard it is to grind up in the game. I feel like they never do anything with PvP or progression in this game. Every update they add is just they ignore it. They continue to even update with a more broken fruit and then don't nerf it correctly, making it extremely hard to battle these things when in PvP. Now with them adding more levels, it gets even harder to level up to max. Even with the new fishing system, I wouldn't see how that would help people level up. You have to start. You have started to see a lot of YouTubers coming back to the game. Some big YouTubers who have stopped even quit Blox Fruits, but surprisingly they're coming back. Now you may assume it's because this update is a banger, but like I feel like the real truth is just that they're just really trying to farm content off this game, like milk content. It's not that they really care about the game. They want to like hype it up, get views, get subscribers, get money, and then when the game starts to die off, they just leave it immediately. I mean, you could obviously see many YouTubers do that specifically. And hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna do the same thing 100%. I won't even lie. My most popular videos are on Blox Fruits, so if I made like a 60-minute video about me bounty hunting with a new Rumble rework, y'all would watch it. Don't even lie. But it seems like Blox Fruits is now just more of a content farm than an actual game for fun. The fun has been taken away and is now replaced with greed. The devs are more focused on how much money they make with each update or more than whether or not the players are happy. It's like the game is an ATM and then they just spit out as much money as they can from that. The way they make money is pretty crazy because you've noticed like things like in stock where they say work in progression and usually it's to like do a big premium checkout when players come in the game and then or how do I say this? They basically do a big checkout because like they can sometimes change the cost of the fruit, which then brings more people to spend more money on that, making it much more worth than it really is. And the problem is, when it comes to trading, many people like really overprice the fruits because of the hype it's getting. Even though after the fruit is actually released and it's been like a week, it completely gets like downgraded and then everyone forgets about it. I just wish they focus more on the core game rather than just updating the game and adding new stuff because focusing on the game, focusing on the core, the game, would probably their best spot to focus on and could bring people who played a long time ago, bring them back into the game, and maybe even bring more players. This game is really only good for like milking it for content and them just getting easy cash off of us by having the fruit only to become lackluster and update later or dominated by the main PvP meta. But hey, who knows? Blox Fruits has a lot of potential, but it shows it would rather waste its potential on useless things by adding random stuff that aren't even really good for us and that only really work in their favor. Anyways, that's all for the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, just hit the subscribe button. Anyways, I hope y'all have a blessed day and I'll see you all maybe during this week.